Hello everybody, this is, welcome back to Dark Souls. I keep thinking I'm going to be saying one thing and then different words pop out of my mouth, so... welcome back to Dark Souls. This is the third episode. I would say it is the third episode I recall, but, I better recall because, 3 ain't that many. But we're going to go talk to the Blacksmith down here first, because I never really gave him a proper introduction.
Well, you must be a new arrival. I'm Andre of Astora. If you require smithing, then speak to me.
Yeah, we can actually learn a gesture from this guy, which is the hurrah gesture. It's a sort of a cheer, which I'll actually explain how to do gestures in a moment. Even though I've done them before, I never really explained how, so we'll go over that for any newer players that happen to be watching. So as you can see, you can upgrade your weapons and your armor, but I don't have any upgrade materials that I can use. I picked up some from like the crystal lizards and that demon titanite, but that's nothing I can really use on the equipment that I have right now. And any equipment that I do have, I can use it on. I don't have the amount of souls for. I don't have enough souls to upgrade with. Anyway, we're going to be going backwards to the Undead Burg. That way we can get everything that's after the boss we skipped. So we got a couple guys over here. Enemies at this area of the Burg actually take more hits, but you won't be able to tell because the Zweihander is so strong for the early game that for the most part you can just wreck a lot of guys. Now this big guy, despite his size, you can actually parry him, as I'll try to demonstrate here. You cannot riposte him, however. You only do normal attacks. So, it might not exactly be worthwhile. So it might be just worth dodging, following up with an attack or two. I'm trying not to lose too much stamina, though. Right, so we made short work of him with this powerful weapon. And what he was guarding was actually another Firekeeper soul, so we can upgrade our flask again. Now, one important thing I should note is you can actually use these Firekeeper souls like yourself, but they'll just give you humanity, which you can easily earn through the game. So it's definitely more worthwhile to just save them to give to the Firekeeper. Especially since these are in a very limited quantity, while as humanity can actually be farmed, so they come in an unlimited quantity. Now, the sorcerer guy actually just buffed these enemies, which is why they have that blue aura, so they actually do significantly more damage. This area is actually a very dangerous part of the game that a lot of newer players will typically have trouble with. But we made short work of that sorcerer with by using this very strong overhead attack, which works very well in this hallway, since it takes out like everything in front of you in a line. And anything that just happens to be out of range will get stunned. Oh, well, we almost bit the dust there, though. Oh, we missed that completely. But his buff ran out, so he's not as powerful with his attacks. So that was that sorcerer will actually not respawn if we rest at a bonfire. We're actually heading towards the Gargoyles. We're not going to fight them yet, but I feel it's important to free this. Not this guy. This guy's going to try to kill me. But there's a fine gentleman coming up that we can free with the master key. If you don't have the master key, you'll actually have to find the key. Which as long as you don't take the shortcut I took, you're bound to find it. It's not really far out of the way at all. So don't worry too much about it. This guy has humanity, which is very useful to us because at the beginning of the game you don't have much humanity, so picking up humanity where you can is useful. Now you can see this wall is sort of smashed a little bit. Looks like it can be broken, and you'd be right if you thought it would. We'll just kick it. You can just attack it normally, but I just felt like kicking it. So you finally these stairs and you'll see this fine gentleman just sitting in a cage.
Still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse.
Sorry if you guys just heard me drink my soda. I'm typically a very loud soda drinker, if that makes any sense. So we'll use the master key to free him, and he's very grateful to us.
I am Knight Lautrec of Carim. I truly appreciate this. And I guarantee a reward. Only later.
Alright, so he's going to reward us later. I wonder what that could be. But in the meantime, we're going to head backwards through the Undead Burg. Alright, we found another soul there. So let's get back down these stairs. And I'm hoping to go all the way back to the Undead Burg, get everything I want to get, and make a little bit of progress before I end this episode. So, you know, still got plenty of time, obviously. We're only 5 minutes in. Well, 5 minutes and 52 seconds about. So we're gonna try not to aggro all of these Balder Knights at the same time. We did aggro 2, but fortunately our heavy attack will one-shot them, so it's not too dangerous. Now, you see what he's doing right there, how he's holding the sword like that. He's actually getting ready to parry me, so I want to use an attack that cannot be parried. So this is a jumping attack, which I actually failed to mention earlier, that these jumping attacks cannot be parried. So that's actually very nice to keep into account. But yeah, you do not want to attack him head on when he looks. Any class that kind of looks like they take a different stance, they typically are going to parry you. So we found a key here, and what we're going to want to do is try to... Okay, we've pissed off that giant boar over there, so we're going to try to lead him somewhere where he can't quite get us. Alright, now this is actually a little trick for taking out this boar with ease. I'm going to wait for him to come down here, because, you know, he's going to want to try to get as close to us as possible, which is directly below us. And now we're going to do a plunging attack, similar to how we did on the tutorial boss. And with that, we just completely destroyed him in one hit, as well as the enemy that was standing right next to him. Now, he actually went by and closed the gate. If you happen to die, normally you would be coming from the other side, so if you sprint by really quick, you can rush to the gate before he closes it. Otherwise, he's going to close the gate, and you're going to take the long way around, which I would actually suggest allowing him to close the gate on you if it's your first time through, because you might miss some items that you would get by going down here, such as the key used to open Lautrec's cell if you don't grab the master key. So we just have a few more guys. Note that I am going through this area backwards, so if things don't seem to make sense with, like, regards to enemy layout, take that into account. We're actually almost out of Estus flasks. But we're actually making a little side trip up here. And you'll notice there's actually another Black Knight with a really big sword. We're just going to parry him, and just like the last one, we're going to try to make short work of him with some parries and backstabs. You can actually get these equipment that these guys have, so that giant sword could be yours, and it doesn't like shrink because your character's smaller. It's actually that big, or at least very close to that size. You know you know a game is good when you can have a sword that's as big as your character. I mean, that's just a requirement to be a good game. That's on the good game checklist. Not today, rat. Now we're just gonna smash these guys with our amazing wide swing. And these rats can actually drop humanity. I don't know if the developers thought that would be some like a bit of like little social commentary, like where the rats have more humanity than the undead humans do, you know. This guy does not want to fall down, then he did. So he changed his mind. I convinced him. I made it sound appealing just by mentioning it. 96. Ooh, not quite 69. That's how many souls I got, in case anyone's wondering why I just randomly said 96. So there's a ladder here. We can kick down this ladder. And this is actually a shortcut. Now, maybe you can recognize where we are. It's back in the Undead Burg. So now, we have a shortcut. FromSoft tends to put a lot of these shortcuts around so you don't have to run too far to get back to where you want to go. And we're actually going to start making our way to... We're going to talk to an NPC, and then we're going to make our way to another shortcut. Now, in case you couldn't tell, the Drake's back, so we're hiding around this corner to avoid his fire. Now, we're going to try to run without him burning us too much. We can probably take one hit on the chin. Whoa, I should not have been blocking. I almost took more damage than was necessary. Hopefully we won't get hit too much more. Yeah, and we're all out of Estus. I just realized I completely forgot to rest at the bonfire down there, which I should definitely do. Now, this guy is the greatest man. He is Solaire of Astora,
Ah, hello.
and I'll let him talk.
You don't look hollow. Far from it. I am Solaire of Astora, an adherent of the Lord of Sunlight. Now that I am undead, I have come to this great land, the birthplace of Lord Gwyn, to seek my very own son. You find that strange? Well, you should. No need to hide your reaction. I get that look all the time.
Now, one important thing to know about a lot of NPCs in the game is you typically want to keep talking to them until they start repeating themselves, because they'll actually have important things to say if you talk to them more than once.
Oh, aha. So I didn't scare you. I have a proposition, if you have a moment.
I do have a moment.
The way I see it, our fates appear to be intertwined. In a land brimming with hollows, could that really be mere chance? So what do you say? Why not help one another on this lonely journey?
Sure.
This pleases me greatly. Well then, take this.
We got the white sandstone, which is a very important item
We
in
are
the game.
strange beings in a strange land. The flow of time itself is convoluted, with heroes centuries old phasing in and out. The very fabric wavers, and relations shift and obscure. There's no telling how much longer your world and mine will remain in contact. But use this to summon one another as spirits, cross the gaps between the worlds, and engage in jolly cooperation.
That's a
Of
famous
course,
line.
we're not the only ones engaged in this, but I am a warrior of the sun. Spot my summon signature easily by its brilliant aura. If you miss it, you must be blind.
Right, so he doesn't really have anything else to say. If we talk to him again, he'll just say he wants to stand back and look at the sun for a while. Now, we have to try to get past this dragon without getting burnt to death, because we are out of Estus, and we want to... Oh, God! Okay, we're fine, it seems. Let's try to get down before he burns us again. Alright, we made it. Now, let's rest at this bonfire like I failed to do last time, so that we can actually get more Estus flasks. I find it kind of funny that I mentioned earlier, like, oh, I never run out of Estus. Then I do. Alright, so 27 strength. Yeah, we'll stop leveling strength for a little while. But we will be increasing that more. Now we've got 10 Estus flasks, we can go back up, and we can go open the other shortcut that I wanted to get. Also, you'll notice that I actually have enough strength to one-hand the Zweihander now. So we can keep our shield handy, which will be useful. Alright, so now what we want to do is just wait for this guy to get annoyed by us standing where he can't get to us, and he'll come down to try and get us. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to run past him. Any second now. There we go. Now you just hightail it out of there. And you get to this bonfire. You rest here. And this bonfire has a tendency to kick you off right after. I think it has something to do with the dragon. But I did rest at it, so it is saved as, like, you know, the bonfire I last rested at. So if I did die, I would end up back here. And this is the shortcut. You open this gate. And you'll notice this is actually the area, just, you know, when I went up this tower, I fought that Dark Knight with that really huge sword. So I'm back at this area, and I've basically accomplished everything that I really want to in this area. Oops. Ah! Actually, I don't even know why I'm fighting these guys. I can just run by for the sake of saving time. Yes, yeah, saving time. I'm no coward. I'm sure they'll buy that. Anyway, now there are some very powerful, you can actually upgrade your weapon a whole lot before you even fight the gargoyles, but since I don't feel it's important, I'll still be able to explain how to get these items without killing these guys, but so because of that, for the sake of pacing in these videos, we're going to fight the gargoyles. We're still going to try to fight all these bosses in their appropriate order. Well, not necessarily appropriate order, because you can take them on in any order you really want to, but in the order of, I would say, maybe increasing difficulty or what you're likely to find first. So, for this boss, we are going to reverse our hollowing, and we're going to kindle this bonfire, because why not? We have an extra humanity up there, and we're in human form. And I'll show you why more new players will typically want to reverse hollowing. There's actually, you'll be able to have Solaire, the guy that we recently talked to, help us out with this fight. You know, if you need it, that is. But, you know, since Solaire is really awesome, I like to summon him no matter what. Also, since he is a Sunlight Warrior, which I'll be able to explain how you'll be able to tell when a player that you're going to summon is going to be a Sunlight Warrior or not. Since he's a Sunlight Warrior, you will gain a Sunlight Medal if you beat the boss with him in your game. So we can summon another player because you can have two Phantoms with you. Solaire can be one, and another player can be the other. Hopefully that summon will go through. They do have a tendency to not exactly work all the time. But, you know, while we wait for him, we're going to be eliminating the guys in this room. But we also don't want to waste too much time because we are open to invasions. So, you know, best not to dilly-dally. Ooh, these guys are roughing me up a bit. Let's fall back, drink and Estus. Oof. This lack of poise is not very good for these heavier weapons. Summoning has failed. I need to fall back and heal once again. Alright, so these guys have been taken care of. Let's make our way up here. This is where the boss will be found. And I'll be able to show you how you can identify a Sunlight a Sunlight Warrior sign from other people's. A Sunlight Warrior sign is more of a golden color, like you see here in Knight Solaire. Now, since he's an NPC, we know for a fact it's going to work. Now we're going to enter this boss room, and notice that the boss is not here yet. Also, I didn't even realize that we don't have our talisman equipped. It's very important. That talisman is used to cast faith spells. Like you'll see there, I have a heal spell. You know, just to top myself off without wasting an Estus. It takes longer than an Estus, but it's nice to have if you want to try and save Estus. You can use it between battles. Now we got a cutscene here. Oh no! Alright, so we got the gargoyle. Gotta be careful dodging that attack. With any boss that you see that has a tail, try and attack the tail, because some of them actually do have a tendency to break off and give you an item. So we're going to smack his tail, and just like that, we got it in one hit because he, this weapon just does so much damage and only took one hit. Now, what's that? Another gargoyle has joined the fray, but we took out his buddy before he can really be of any effective use. Once you get the first guy down to half health, this guy will show up, which can be very dangerous. Because, you know, fighting two of these guys at once, especially if you're a new player, can be a challenge. But we made short work of them with a very strong weapon. And, you know, Solaire survived, so we're going to get a Sunlight Medal from him being here. That's the benefit of a Sunlight Warrior. There are covenants in the game which will allow you different effects. There are some that will give you cooperative benefits. There are some that give you, there are some that will allow you to invade people, like that guy in the second video did. And, you know, the benefit of being a Sunlight Warrior is you get these lightning bolts that you can throw if you have enough faith. And you also get, whenever you kill a boss, Whenever you kill a boss with a gold phantom in your world, whether you are the gold phantom in somebody else's world or you're a guy who summoned somebody with a gold phantom, when a gold phantom is present and you beat a boss, everyone in the group will get a sunlight medal, which can be used to increase your rank in the Sunlight Warrior Covenant. So, having a sunlight warrior with you for a boss could be beneficial, even if you're not in the Covenant, in case you want to join it later. So we have a guy here waiting for us with his arms stretched out.
Greetings. I am Oswald of Carim, the Pug. Thou art a friend. For thee, a warm welcome. Cometh thou to confess, or to accuse? For indeed all sin is my domain.
Alright, so we're going to learn a gesture. Easily the most important gesture in the game, especially if you want to invade people, is the, well, what is it gesture. Now, this guy can actually clear your sin. There is a thing in the game called sin, and my character has not sinned yet. But you can also use this guy to abandon your covenant. You can abandon your covenant just by breaking the covenant's rules or by joining another covenant, but I believe there are penalties to leaving that way. But if you abandon it this way, typically there's much fewer penalties, so it could be important. You can also purchase items from him, such as indictments, a book of the guilty, which is sort of like the leaderboard for PvP. It tells you how many indictments you have, which is actually part of the whole guilty system. Or the sin system. He sells a miracle called Karmic Justice, which is actually, it can be pretty good, actually. As well as some rings. Rings of Sacrifice will be useful later on. And this is actually a special talisman, which will allow you to cast faith spells, but it scales with magic instead of faith. So if you have the bare minimum amount of faith to use a spell, to use a miracle, but you have lots of intellect, you'll want to use this instead because it will scale better, and will as a result do more damage. For the most part.
Thou art welcome any time. It is only human to commit a sin.
That guy sounds crazy. I can totally relate to him. Anyway, so let's show off the emote that we just got. Well, what is it? The greatest emote ever. So, we're gonna head back down the Firelink Shrine really fast. And at that point, I believe we'll end this video. So, if you want to leave now, I don't blame you, because we're just running back. Actually, we'll probably be talking to somebody down there really quick, so hopefully you haven't already left. In case anybody's wondering, I don't have this character designed to look anything like me, so just saying. Also, there's an item up here. Yoink! Soul of a lost undead. Alright, we're just going to rest there, so it saves that. And now we are going to head down here, and here's the guy we said we were free from the cell earlier.
Ah, hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it.
He gave us a sunlight medal, which will be useful.
I am grateful to you for freeing me. Not enough for you? Well, let's not be greedy now.
Right, so this guy actually causes a lot of problems later on. Spoilers! So the easiest way to just dispatch him now is to just kick him off this cliff that he's conveniently located nearby. As long as we don't damage him, he won't be mad at us, and that'll take him out. Now, importantly, if you kick him off the cliff, be sure to reload your game, which you're actually going to likely see what my build is going to be about in the end game by seeing the name of it here, which I probably should have thought that through. So, good old Iron Jenkins. We're going to load this guy up. And you will see that now he has an item here, and... Oh, for a second I thought she was dead because of that white. I thought she dropped items. Anyway, he dropped humanity and a ring of favor and protection. The ring of favor and protection is easily the best item in the game. However, if you take it off at any point, it breaks, and you can only get one per playthrough. So it's important to only put it on if you know you're going to be keeping it on. So we're actually not going to be putting that on now, but I wonder if I have another ring. I do not. Well, I need another ring I can put on that. It won't break when I remove it. So I guess that'll be the end of this episode. Next episode, we're probably going to upgrade our items, gather a few more things, and then take out another boss. So I'll see you guys next time.